الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا قيما لينذر بأسا شديدا من لدنه ويبشر المؤمنين الذين يعملون الصالحات أن لهم أجرا حسنا والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. عباد الله، أوصيكم ونفسي المقصرة أولا بتقوى الله، فاتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. ثم أما بعد. All praises are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most gracious and the most merciful. The best of his peace and blessings shall be bestowed upon his beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and upon those that follow his footsteps. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم تعوذوا بالله من الفتن ما ظهر منها وما بطن. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is instructing us and directing us to always seek refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from all types of fitan. And he mentioned two categories of those fitans. مَا ظَهَرَ مِنْهَا وَمَا بَطَنَ. The visible ones and the invisible fitan. Fitna and fitan is a word that we hear a lot these days. Everybody talks about the fitan. Today, inshallah, we want to shed the light, trying to simplify the idea of fitna, the notion of fitna, understand what it means, to hopefully be able to spot it, and inshallah, at the end, we'll discuss how we can deal with it. الفتنة كما قال العلماء في كلام العرب هي الابتلاء والامتحان. The word fitna itself refers to a test, an evaluation, and it was also used by al-Arab from فتنت الفضة والذهب. The process of purifying gold and silver is called fitna. And this process is basically subjecting the metal to fire, burning it. Why? To purify gold and silver. So there's a process of pain involved in it. Maybe fear, hardship. People will be subjected to fear, pain, hardship, so they can bring the best out of them, or wal-iyadu billah, the worst out of them. And this is something that we see and live with on a daily basis. When people go through hardships, they either bring the best out of them or the worst out of them. Or in other terms, it brings out maybe what's in their hearts, what they believe. And fitan is something that drives people into confusion. Absolute confusion. And I'm pretty sure that you all can relate to these words. Especially as described by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, fitanan كَقِطَعِ اللَّيْلِ الْمُظْلِمِ. It's like a pitch black night. A pitch black summer night. You don't see anything. You almost cannot find your way. No lights, nothing. You can't find your path. You can't find your way. يصبح الرجل مؤمنا ويمسي كافرا. A person will wake up mu'min, maybe pray his fajr, and by the end of the night, that's it, it's gone. He's so confused, he doesn't know what he's doing anymore. أو يمسي مؤمنا ويصبح كافرا. Or maybe he will sleep after Ijah, maybe tahajjud, mu'min, and then wakes up in the morning, faced with something that will flip him around. Take away his deen. يبيع دينه بعرض من الدنيا. And some of them are willing to sell off their deen. Get rid of their deen for some worldly gain. It's okay. We start evaluating deen with dunya, which we see happening all the time. Thinking, you know what, Allah will forgive me, I'm just going to give this thing up so I can gain this worldly advantage. We see it happening in workplaces, we see it happening in business. يبيعوا, sell off. I mean, it's mostly a business transaction because there's a world benefit. You start giving up your deen one bit at a time to gain that worldly benefit. So in simple terms, what is fitna? Fitna is a significant event, test, turmoil, hardship that will push people to reevaluate and reconsider their deen. And please remember this. It's an event, it's tough, it's harsh, that will push people to a point of reevaluating and reconsidering their deen. That means the outcome could be deen or no deen. This is what the fitna is, my dear brothers and sisters. How dangerous is this? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَالْفِتْنَةُ أَشَدُّ مِنَ الْقَتْلِ. And fitna is a lot more harder than death. Why? Because if a person dies on his iman, with his iman, he's a winner. But if a person, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ, subjected to fitna and loses his deen, then he lost his dunya and akhirah. So some people, the ones that are attached to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the ones that are focused on the eternal life, they will surely know that al-fitna ashaddu min al-qatl. I'd rather lose my life, but not lose my deen. And this is the mindset we need to go in dealing with those fitan. I'd rather lose my life, but I will not lose my deen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the strength to withstand the fitan. And fitan has two types, as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam informed us. مَا ظَهَرَ مِنْهَا وَمَا بَطَنَ. And ظاهر من الفتنة could be the external one, which is the one that we all see, we all discuss, the fitna that comes from outside, such as the continuous vilification and demonization of Islam on the media. This is fitna. Spreading false information and accusation, false information about Islam. This is fitna. Islamophobia in all its forms. Verbal. Or it could get physical. Like what we're seeing in some parts of the world. In Syria, children and women, elders, everybody being massacred. This is fitna. Our brothers and sisters in Burma, Iraq, Palestine, Yemen, you name it. When the Muslim blood is becoming cheap, this is fitna. Injustice. being denied your rights to practice your deen is fitna. People trying to get involved in your religion, tell you what to do and what not to do, is fitna. What's happening in the Peel District School Board, an attempt to regulate khutbah al-Jum'ah, is fitna. Why is it fitna? Why all these things are fitna? First of all, it's external because it's coming from outside. It's coming from a party that does not subscribe to your religion. Zahira. Why is it fitna? Because in the first one, when our children or even our adults that are continuously hearing that Islam is bad, Islam is bad, Islam is bad, Islam is a source of problems, even if they know that it's not, even if all of us tell them that it's not, but the continuous attack will make them think, why would I want to be part of this at least attacked religion? It's tiring. It's tiring. When they see our Muslim brothers and sisters being massacred every single day in Syria and Burma, they would say, I don't want to be part of this group. Because it seems like the whole world doesn't care about that. It will be a bigger deal to harm an animal than to harm a Muslim. It's fitna. Why? Because someone might think, I don't want to be part of this. So look at the evaluation and the re-evaluation of our deen. I don't want to be part of a deen, a religion, that will make my blood cheap. This is how people would think. Especially the ones under continuous pressure. Our children, our students. Especially now when I say it again, the issue that's happening at Peel District School Board. People trying to interfere with their religion and change their religion and tell them what to say and what not to say. It's not settled yet. But what's happening, the attempt, the fact that we're discussing this, the fact that it's being presented in a way that's regulating and restricting and limiting their deen, telling them what to say, what not to say, this is fitna. No one else is subjected to this. I mean, there are rules and regulations that will govern all behaviors and acts, and you know, we all abide by it. Why have something special for Muslims? This is fitna. They will make you feel, why am I being targeted? A huge fitna that might cause the adult, the aware and the unaware, and the children and the students to think, do I want to be part of this? It's fitna. Then the other part of it, the invisible one, the one that comes from within, the one that comes from our community. And I believe this is for me, it's worse than the first one. The first one might cause people, billah, to say, I don't want to be part of this. Clearly shifting positions. The second one might dilute and change their belief with the understanding that I'm still okay. Because they're both bad. One is taking you away, but one is destroying you from within and changing you from within with the thinking and the belief that I'm okay. What's happening in our community? We need to evaluate two things. First one, what's happening with the public, the behavior and the manners of the public. So we can understand that there's a fitna happening here. Rasulullah ﷺ said in a hadith, ثلاث مهلكات شح مطاع وهوى متبع وإعجاب المرء بنفسه أو إعجاب المرء برأيه. How does the public operate when you look at the masses? Because this is how you gauge a civilization or a group or a community of the behavior. When you see a Muslim that's supposed to be generous, a Muslim that's in the essence of your religion is to go out there and be selfless and help and provide and support, a Muslim that's supposed to live and suffer for others to benefit. When you see shuh muta', and shuh is extreme stinginess, not just on money, on any benefit to any human being. Complete focus on oneself, self-benefit, and I don't want to benefit anybody. As a matter of fact, I want everybody else to suffer. I don't care if they benefit or not. I don't want them to benefit. So this person's life, shuh muta', is led by this feeling of holding back benefit from everyone except myself. Ana. I don't want anybody to benefit financially or any kind of benefits. And we see this happening all the time. وَهَوَى مُتَّبَعٌ. People that just follow desires in everything they do. They don't even check if it's halal or haram. SubhanAllah. Because they convince themselves that there's nobody to check with. So let me see how I feel about it. You show them. Present to them. You shouldn't do this. No, I don't feel right about it. I'm not getting it. I don't understand it. Hawa muttaba. We're just following our desires. وَإِعْجَابُ الْمَرْءِ بِرَأْيِهِ. A lot of people think this is the right thing to do, and I thought about it. This is the right thing to do. My knowledge, my science, this proof, that's proof, this is the right thing to do, khalas. So take it back to the Quran and Sunnah. No. This is the condition around us. Moreover, Rasulullah said, شَرُّ مَا فِي رَجُلٍ, the worst thing that you could find in a man, two things. شُحٌ هَالَعٌ وَجُبْنٌ خَالَعٌ. Extreme stinginess in holding back all benefits to an exaggerated point. Extreme stinginess in money and benefits and any good deeds. You don't want anybody to take anything. This is the worst you can find in a man. وَجُبْنٌ خَالَعٌ. Destructive cowardness. And they go along. Because if you, all what you're focused on is to benefit yourself, you become a coward. Because you don't want to lose what you have. Jubnun khala. Destructive cowardness. So you start even not caring about what's happening outside because you're focused on yourself and your own benefit. The second evaluation is on the activist, on the elites, on the leaders of the community, if we can use that word. Rasulullah said, سيأتي على الناس سنوات خداعات يصدق فيها الكاذب ويكذب فيها الصادق ويؤتمن فيها الخائن ويخون فيها الأمين وينطق فيها الرويبضة. قيل وما الرويبضة؟ قال الرجل التافه يتكلم في أمر العامة. This is the part that we want to focus on. There will be years that will come upon Muslims where التافه يتكلم في أمر العامة. يتكلم في أمر العامة, that means you're a public speaker, you're an influencer, that means you're leading people, that means you're a leader. When you influence people's decisions and people's behavior, you're a leader, or as per the description. But if that person is a tafih, himself is insignificant, himself, whether it's a man or a woman, they don't have the qualification, nor the knowledge, nor the understanding, and they're leading people. They're making decisions that affect people in sensitive parts of their lives. And may Allah protect us all. We see a lot of it happen. We'll talk about why later. But where do we see this? I say it with my heart aching, wallahi. And wallahi, I don't say this to draw a black picture or to attack anybody. La wallah. Almost 20 years in serving the community, dealing at different levels. I want people to know. I want people to know because we need to act. We say 50% of solving a problem is identifying it. We need to identify the problem together and deal with it. Not because we want anything ill out of it. We want people to sit down and cry. It's awareness. So we can act, inshallah. It's the ilm that will be followed by amal, inshallah. We see it in activists that are serving Islam. They're doing good things. Conferences, events, programs, influencing people. But when it comes to the minor akhlaq of Islam, you don't find them. And the stories are many. We see them in Islamic schools, administration, principals, teachers. Very, very sensitive job, schooling. You come, many stories. They're presented with adillah, evidence from Quran and Sunnah on major things that are influencing students' behavior. And their answer is, this is our philosophy. You show them Quran and Sunnah. Akhi, this is wrong. So this is our philosophy. Everyone has their own philosophy. And it also falls under Ijab al-Mar'i bi-Ra'yih. They put their opinion and their understanding before the Quran and Sunnah. Instead of, they don't even go the extra mile to evaluate. Take 2-3 opinions on the Quran and Sunnah. No, they stop it right there. It's our philosophy. It's our ra'i. Exactly kama qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Reformers, people that claim to be reforming the deen. Some of them are not even Muslim. Some of them that just arrived a few years, less than 5 years. And all of a sudden they're spreading their venom, telling women, hijab is not a fard. People are responding to them. You know why? Because maftuneen, they're under pressure. When you're under pressure from the outside and someone from the inside comes and tells you, by the way, hijab, you know, it's causing you all these problems. Ya akhi, it's not a fard aslan. Oh, Allah. So in order for me to keep my deen, I can take off my hijab. Let me do it. Or you know what? You can skip this or skip that. It's attack from in and out. We see it happening. We see the influence. People, we don't know what to do. It's growing. Leaders of organizations. And again I say, may Allah bless everybody that's working to serve this ummah. But if we are doing the job, as Rasulullah said, if you take on a position and you know that you're not qualified for it, if you're taking on a position or a job and you know you're not qualified for it, you will be thrown in hellfire. This is how bad it is. Don't just think that you have a good intention to serve, do it right. Or you are destroying the community. It's happening around us. We need to know it. Inshallah, we'll discuss how we'll deal with it in the second part. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah. Right, let's inshallah be positive. We want to be positive. Because Rasulullah said, if يوم القيامة came وفي يد أحدكم فسيلة فليغرسها. If you see it happening, يوم القيامة, be positive. If you have something to do, finish it, complete it. This is the attitude of a Muslim. We're positive. Because we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with us. Even in the darkest of position, كَلَّا إِنَّ مَعِيَ رَبِّي سَيَهْدِينِ. Even if the darkest of moments, Sayyidina Musa standing, the sea in front of him and the army behind him, said, no, Allah is with me. This is our attitude. We are positive people. We're working with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Huwa hasbuna wa ni'mal wakeel. He's going to help us. He's going to save us. He's going to show us the way. But we need to understand and act. First of all, I got 5 advices. Redefine ourselves. We need to know, my dear brothers and sisters, moving forward, that you have 4 positions to take in this life, and not the 5th one. As mentioned in the hadith, اغدو عالما أو متعلما أو مستمعا أو محبا ولا تكن الخامسة. Be one of 4. Listen to me and listen well. Be a alim. Alim in what? At this stage, in your deen. Know your deen very well. Be a alim, not just... If you can become a alim, do it. Work really hard to become, because we need ulama and more ulama. Or muta'alliman. Start the process of knowledge. Become a student of knowledge means focus more on knowledge than anything else. أو مستمعا, or at least listen to the ulama. Listen. Listen with an open heart. أو محبا, or if you lost your capability of learning, be محبا. Love العلم والعلماء. Remember we said in the last khutbah, حبب إليهم الإيمان وزينهم في قلوبهم وكرهوا الكفر والفسوق والعصيان أولئك هم الراشدون. You want tarshud, you want to reach the right destination? Love العلم والعلماء. 4. عالم, scholar. Push your kids to become scholars. You walk the path of knowledge. Listen to al-ilm wal-ulama, or love al-ilm wal-ulama, the least you can do, and do not be the 5th one. In another riwayah, Al-Hasan was asked, well, who's the 5th one? 2 things were narrated in different riwayat. First one, al-mubtada', the innovator, creating your own deen. Or al-mubghid lil-ilm wal-ulama. Allahu Akbar. Who's the 5th one? The one that hates. Every time you say al-alim al-fulani said, he doesn't know. No, this guy is getting paid. This guy, you start hating. Be careful, it's a trap. You hate all ilm al-ulama, it's a big trap. So either be a alim or a student of ilm, or listen to al-ulama, or love them and get attached to them. We need to all stick back to our deen and our knowledge that comes from the right ulama. So we call upon our ulama. And inshallah this message will reach our ulama that we have in Canada, or especially in the GTA. Please play your role. Identify yourself. And let's clear out the people that are claiming to be ulama, or claiming they're out there, nobody's talking to them. We need a redefinition of who's a alim. And inshallah, we're calling upon whoever is holding that positions to move towards that direction, to redefine who's a alim. 2, stand up and push back at your own capacity. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Baqarah, حَتَّى لَا تَكُونَ فِتْنَةٌ وَيَكُونَ الدِّينُ لِلَّهِ. You need to all stand up and push back anything against us. So if there's a call to attend a meeting because the school board wants to regulate Salat al-Jum'ah, we all need to go, ya ikhwani. We can't go with only 4 and 5 people. We need to stand up and push back حتى لا تكون فتنة. So the fitna will not come to you. ويكون الدين لله. So your deen will stay with Allah. Otherwise your deen will go somewhere else. Don't take things lightly. When we're saying there's a call for action, Muslims, you need to sign a petition. Move. Muslims, you need to appear to support your brothers in high schools. Move. Support your masajid, move. Support the programs, move. It's time for us to act and engage and energize. No more room for sitting back and saying, Wallahi, I'm okay. I'm not subjected to anything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَوْلَا دَفْعُ اللَّهِ النَّاسَ بَعْضَهُم بِبَعْضٍ لَفَسَدَتِ الْأَرْضِ وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ ذُو فَضْلٍ عَلَى الْعَالَمِينَ. If we don't push each other, if we don't push back, our life will be ruined as Muslims. We need to push back, ya ikhwani. Number 3, do not waste your time fixing the broken. If something is broken, if you have an important piece of equipment at home, your fridge, nobody can live without a fridge anymore. It's broken, you fix it, you fix it, you fix it. But then you get to a point where you need to replace it. It's not fixable. So there are problems out there sometimes we cannot deal with. But that doesn't mean we're going to sit down and do nothing. We need to create something new. Go to the hadith again. مُرُوا بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَانْهَوْا عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. Always tell people to do the right thing, yourself and others. حَتَّى إِذَا رَأَيْتَ, as we said, until you get to a point where you see hawa al-muttaba, everybody's following desires. When you see people saying, رَأْيِ شُحًّا مُطَاعٍ. When you see dunya mu'thara, people are preferring dunya over akhirah. When you see إعجاب كل ذي رأي برأيه, when the leaders are already about their opinion, it's not about the right thing to do, what do? فَعَلَيْكَ بِخَاصَّةِ نَفْسِكَ وَدَعْ عَنْكَ أَمْرَ الْعَوَامِ. Well, some people would say, what are you saying? No, we can't not do anything. That doesn't say don't do anything. There's another hadith that supported. How do you leave the broken? We can't fix anything anymore. What do? In another hadith, where Abdullah ibn Abbas asked Rasulullah ﷺ a question, he tells him, when you see all these intermingling events, confusion, عليك بخاصتك وضع عنك عوامهم. عليك بخاصتك وضع عنك. That means change your strategy. It means let's all sit down, let's our ulama act, and let's create something new. Let's build a new fridge. We can't live without a fridge. Let's build a new one. Let's purchase a new one. Let's focus on developing leaders and developing knowledgeable people and spreading the knowledge. This is what we do. We don't sit down and cry. We don't hide. We don't stick our heads in the sand and hide. We learn. We focus on those young ones to make them leaders. We focus on ourselves to learn more and put them on the right path. This is what we need to do, my dear brothers and sisters. And the last one that I end with. We need to unite. Unfortunately, for the past 15 years, people got to a point where unity is impossible. We fell into this trap. What does that mean? That means we can't all be under one leader. Yes, I agree. But we can be under one mission statement, under one vision, under one group. We need to act collectively. You know what's happening? Wallahi, it ached my heart a couple of days ago. I went to that meeting for the Toronto Peel District School Board. Our children, our high school students, they're facing the school board by themselves. Yeah, there are some people working, supporting them from behind, but they should not be talking to students. There should be a body, an educational body, from scholars and experts to negotiate with the school board or any organization that wants to implement or introduce anything for Muslims. They should not be talking to the individuals. They should not be choosing who to deal with and what imam to work with, because they can pick what they want. It looks like an attack on us. And the only way we can push it back is to unite in one group, work together. And inshallah, with these 5 steps, we will be able to find huda, and we'll be able to find guidance, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will save our souls. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless us save us and protect us and shower us with His mercy. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect all the weak ones across the globe. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, اللهم احفظنا من كل الفتن ما ظهر منها وما بطن. اللهم احفظنا من بين أيدينا ومن خلفنا وعن يميننا وشمائلنا ومن فوقنا ونعوذ بعظمتك أن نغتال من تحتنا. اللهم احفظنا يا رب العالمين. اللهم احفظ علينا ديننا يا الله إنك على كل شيء قدير. اللهم انتم يصلون على النبي الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك سيدنا محمد وعلى صحبه أجمعين. الله يأمركم بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون فاذكروا الله يذكركم واستغفروه يغفر لكم والله يعلم ما تصنعون. قوموا إلى صلاتكم يرحمكم الله.